Let's talk about control and how to start letting go. Welcome back to another episode of Rapid Subconscious Reprogramming Community. Very thankful if you're here. If you're watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay. So here we are again to share a little bit of inside tools to help you with mindset, of course, Monday mindset, and dealing with control. So a lot of people out there are struggling with control, meaning that they're trying to control things that are out of their control, but they're not really being able to let go. Although they try different things to let go, they're not being able to let go of the control of things that they know that they cannot control, but they're still trying. A part of them, a part of the mind is still trying to control. So let's talk a little bit about how the mind works. As you know, guys, all of this work that I do is about understanding the mind. When we're able to understand the mind, it makes it easier to make changes. We talked about procrastination, we talk about imposter syndrome, we talk about perfectionism, we talk about people pleasing. Today is about control. So why does the mind want to control? Right? Imagine that you want to control somebody from treating you the right way, right? You want to, in a way, guarantee or try to, get people to treat you in specific ways, or you want to control, I don't know, the economy of a country, or you want to control somebody else around something, right? Why is it that we want to control? Normally at the surface level, and remember what we're seeing is that, oh, we don't want to be disrespected, right? I want to be recognized by my boss. So I want to control in a way, quote unquote, that they give me a raise, that they give me a pat in the back, that my wife recognizes the work that I'm doing, or my wife recognizing that I did this or that, right? So what happens many times, hey, Romana, thank you for stopping by. We got Susan and Susan over here too. So thank you. Why are we trying to control at a surface level? Because again, we don't want to go through pain. Remember that the mind is trying to protect us from pain. And what does that mean, right? If I don't get the raise that I want, I'm going to maybe beat myself up. If my wife doesn't recognize the work that I'm doing, I'm going to feel bad. So we start trying to control things externally because we want to try to feel loved, happy, accepted, fulfilled, recognized, validated, or any type of variation. So the surface level is, oh, I don't want to be disrespected. That's why, I don't want this person to say negative things about me, right? So we try to control others. We try to control, as I said, politics. We want to control the economy. We want to control the weather. We want to control other things that are out of our control. And why is that? Because the mind is trying to protect you from feeling pain. If I cannot control, there are chances of somebody saying or doing something that could eventually make me feel pain. But again, when I start understanding how the mind works, I'm able to understand what is it that is really going on. So the first step to understand is that if somebody is saying something that is bothering me, it's because actually I believe that about myself, or I have doubts around that area. So I tell people, when you feel somebody stabbing you, what is actually happening is a person is trying to stab you, you grab the knife, and then you stab yourself. And then you complain because somebody stabbed you, somebody said something really nasty at you. The truth is, and I'm not saying it's easy, please don't get me wrong, is that nobody can hurt you emotionally or mentally. And I know that's a very difficult statement for a lot of people out there that are thinking that people are hurting them. But the only way for somebody to hurt you is by you accepting what they're saying, by you believing what they're saying. Because right now somebody says, Tommy, you're a douchebag. Tommy, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of crap. You are a liar. If I react to that, it's because I am accepting their statement. If I don't believe that is true, I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, believe that. Let's agree to disagree. And that's it. And done, right? But the problem is I want to control what people say or do to me because eventually it's what I'm doing to myself. So the deeper problem here is what I'm doing to myself. So if I'm not getting a raise, I'm going to beat myself up because I'm not getting the money that I need to be able to take these vacations, to be loved and accepted by my wife, by my family. So I need to understand what is going on deeper. If I just stay in the surface, I have no control over that. I'm just a victim of my circumstances. Think about that, right? When I stay in the surface, that, oh, my boss said something really nasty to me and it really hurt. I have no control over that. My mood, my happiness, my sense of worthiness depends on somebody else. And if it depends on somebody else, I'm screwed, people. Why? Because I have no control over others. So again, if I start realizing that I have control over myself and whatever somebody else does or does not do doesn't directly mean something towards me. If my boss decides not to give me a raise, it has maybe nothing to do with me not being good enough, because if I were not good enough, right, with my actions at work, I would be fired. Maybe they're not giving me a raise because they didn't get to see the value that I bring to the table. Maybe there is a difficult situation going on in the company and they might not be giving me a raise, right? So it might have nothing to do with somebody else. Sorry, might not have something to do with me. It might have to do with something else. So again, the mind is trying to control outcomes to prevent myself going through pain. I don't want to experience pain. But again, who's inflicting that pain? If I start understanding that I'm the only one inflicting pain, then I can regain my power. I can become, responsible and then start making changes from there. Because if I realize that if my wife says something and it hurts, is because there's a part of me that believes in it. So I need to work on that. I cannot just tell my wife, don't ever say that to me again, because I cannot guarantee that she might not say it again. And what I believe is that the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is going to bring people and circumstances your way to show you how you are treating yourself. Hey, Chris, thank you for stopping by. So again, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is going to bring people and circumstances to show you how you are treating yourself. That's why I have talked about this, and it's really painful, don't get me wrong, is that when we are around a narcissistic person, we need to be able to see where we might be being narcissistic to ourselves, because it's hurting, because it's reflecting back what we're doing to ourselves. So if somebody's hurting you, ask the question, how am I hurting myself? If somebody is doing something or not doing something that is bothering you, how am I doing this? Or how am I not doing this? Because a person is not showing you love, not showing you appreciation, you need to understand that you might not be showing love or appreciation to yourself. So what I teach many times is write it down. My wife made me feel this. My boss made me feel this. My boss is not valuing me. My boss is not recognizing me. Start writing. Then change the word boss and put your name there. Tommy is not recognizing me. Tommy is not making me feel valued. Tommy is not making me feel worthy. Then start, diving into the mind, exploring what are you doing nowadays, yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, for many years now, maybe, that you are treating yourself in that way, not making yourself feel worthy. An example, very simple, listen to this, and I've seen this over and again. I'm going to give you one example, and then you can take it anywhere from there, is imagine that your boss is not giving you a raise. So now you start feeling not worthy or not good enough for your boss because they didn't give you a raise. So you are making yourself feel not good enough. You are making yourself feel not good enough. So you are making yourself feel not worthy. Okay. So it's important to realize that, because from there I can start making changes when I realize that I am creating this scenario. So I like this question from Suzanne, right? She's saying, how do I know if I'm being narcissistic to myself? And I love that question, right? Is where are you not being loving with yourself? When are you judging yourself? Where are you criticizing yourself? Where are you putting yourself down? Look at the meaning of narcissism, right? And it doesn't mean that you're a narcissist, don't get me wrong, is that you're acting in a narcissist way in different areas of your life. So look at the meaning of narcissism, the different things, and then see what applies to you. Because normally I tell people, and this is difficult, and I had to realize that I was acting narcissist towards myself for many, many years. I was putting myself down. I was belittling myself. I was judging myself. I was criticizing myself. So then the universe, God, would bring people and circumstances my way to show me exactly what I was doing. So, Chris, it is a little bit of NLP, but it is also a mixture of many other techniques that I have learned in these 15 years working and studying on the mind, working with thousands of people around the world. I have learned around therapy, coaching, neuroscience, a little bit of NLP, ACT therapy, compassion inquiry. I have studied many techniques out there and grabbed the best of each to put together rapid subconscious reprogramming. Okay, so going back to control, when I'm trying to control something that I have no control over, like a person, a situation, things like that, right? I need to see where I'm lacking love and acceptance towards myself. Where am I needing protection? Because again, if I don't get the raise from my boss, if my wife doesn't recognize, my partner doesn't recognize me, is the universe not recognizing me, giving me what I want, how does that make me feel? First question, how do I feel? I feel sad. I feel not good. I feel, angry. I feel shame. I feel whatever. Go through the emotions. Why do I feel sad? Because I'm not getting what I want. So if I'm not getting what I want, how does it make me feel about myself? It makes me feel not worthy. It makes me feel not valued. It makes me feel not good enough. It makes me feel inadequate. Start finding the scripts that you have in the back of your head, in the subconscious mind, that are creating this mechanism of control. Because remember, control is not the problem. I work with people with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, when they're trying to control many things in their life, even others. And OCD is not the problem. OCD, any type of control, normally is the solution to a deeper problem. So if I'm trying to control, you're telling me that there's a part of you that doesn't feel safe, that doesn't feel good enough, that doesn't feel adequate, that doesn't feel enough, whatever variation of that. And that's why it's creating a behavior to try to protect you. The problem is that that part of you is not realizing that it's trying to control things that are out of your control, like controlling the weather, controlling your boss, controlling the economy, controlling the president, controlling your partner. Yes, they are out of your control because they're a different person. Your partner is a different person. You cannot control them. You could try to avoid them from doing something to you, saying something, maybe, but eventually they're going to be stressed out. They're going to be tired. They might have a couple of glasses more of wine, and they're going to treat you in not a very loving way. And then that is going to show you where you are not treating yourself in a very loving way. It goes back to loving and accepting yourself. Because when you love and accept yourself, doesn't matter what your boss does or doesn't do, you're going to be able to value yourself. And if you need to walk away from this company and find another job where you're going to be recognized and validated for what you deserve, you're going to do it. If you're not feeling, eventually you start working on yourself and you're like, you know what, I don't want to put up with this crap from my partner, I'm going to walk away. One thing is to walk away from pain, right? Not realizing that you're hurting yourself and walking away because, oh, I don't want this person. And you know what happens? And please type a 1 in the chat if this has happened to you. You go from one relationship to another, and then that next person starts treating you eventually like the other person, or to a friend, or to a boss, or to somebody that treats you in a very similar way as another person did in the past. Has that happened to you in the past? Type a 1 in the chat. If that has happened to you, you walked away from a relationship, you walked away from a friendship, you walked away from a company to fall into another situation with somebody else, maybe in another company, at a new friend's place, at a new partner, where they eventually started treating you in a similar way. Why? Because again, the universe, God, is going to bring your way people and circumstances that are going to show you exactly how you are treating yourself, so that it's an opportunity to see what you're not seeing, to see your blind spots, to be able to start making changes. If we keep trying to control what is out of our control, eventually we're going to fall into burnout, high levels of stress, high levels of anxiety, and we're going to go down a very dark road. So to be able to let go control, we need to first understand that control is a surface level, is a solution to a deeper problem. It's not the problem. It's a solution to a deeper problem. What is the deeper problem? That I might be judging myself. I might be making myself feel not good enough, not valued, not recognized, not accepted. So I'm looking for control to protect me. The thing is, again, as I said, many times you're trying to control things that are out of your control. So I would recommend you start going deeper into the mind. The 3 questions again: how do I feel? Why do I feel this? How does this make me feel about myself? To start understanding what's going on. And then you can ask yourself too, how am I treating myself when things don't go my way? How do I speak? How's my inner critic nowadays? What am I saying to myself? It could be very subtle, or it could be very straightforward, like, oh, you're not good enough, you're stupid, you're a douchebag, you're blah, you're an idiot. Oh, but I don't mean it. BS. I've worked with people that say, oh, but I don't really mean it. The mind doesn't understand a joke or a thing that you don't mean. When you say, oh, I'm an idiot, for the mind, you're telling yourself that you're an idiot. So be careful what you tell yourself. Be careful that inner dialogue, because that's going to allow you to let go control or hold on more to control, to avoid pain, to avoid self-judgment, to avoid self-criticism, to avoid belittling yourself, bringing yourself down. So again, control is a byproduct. To let it go, you need to work on understanding how the mind works, understanding what is the part that you are playing in all of this, because you have the power, nobody else. You're expecting your boss to make you happy, your partner to make you happy, X amount of money to make you happy, your kids to make you happy, anything external to make you feel blah, whatever, happy, fulfilled, good enough, joyful, whatever you want to put it. When you put that on the outside, we normally do it. Unfortunately, you're setting yourself up for failure, because you're depending on others, and others have their own resolved issues. And again, as I just said, God/universe is going to bring your way exactly what you need to work on to see your blind spots. So take advantage of that. Not just walk away from somebody that's saying hurtful things just like that because you don't want to deal with that. Try to understand, okay, what is this moving inside of me? Walk away if you want to. What can I learn from this is a great question. What can I learn from this situation? Why did this happen to me? Why would God allow this to happen? Not as a victim mode. A lot of people is like, why is God doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? Change that into, what can I learn from this? And I promise you, as you start putting yourself there, there's going to be much more chances. You're going to be able to empower yourself more and start creating more the life that you want. From victim mode, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to create the life that you want. You need to be able to stand in empowerment to be able to start creating what you want. Okay, so again, how are you treating yourself? What's the part you're playing in the situation, the circumstances that are coming your way? Work on that. Change the way you treat yourself. love and accept yourself, fall in love with yourself, and see how your life can start changing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the chat. So if you like this, just share, comment. I love to hear other people talk about this, what they feel. And if you have any questions, reach out. And if there is any topic you want me to cover, please let me know, and I'll see if I can cover that on a future presentation of this.